Hi, how are
Hello,
you?
hi, fine, how are you?
You good?
Oh,
Well, there's the ginger shot for you,
okay, thank you.
and then the drink will be out in a second.
Okay,
Okay.
hold on, you guys, hold on 1 second, okay? I am trying to get Starbucks. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, you guys, I'm at Starbucks. So I'm just trying to finish here at the window. Give me 1 second. Hello, you guys. Thank y'all for coming in. I am trying to get my chai tea from Starbucks. So give me 1 second. I'm still at the window. This it normally don't take them this long. I hope they gave me the right size too. Cause she did not ask me.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay. All right, you guys. I am so sorry for that. So I came over here to Starbucks. I had my lunch already, but I needed something because I need a boost. Like I'm really like fatigued today. So I came over here because they have this ginger shot that I get. And then of course I can't come. Chai tea like is like a comfort thing for me. I'm not a huge coffee drinker, but I will have coffee like if I'm like extremely tired. But today I'm not really tired. I'm just kind of like fatigued, like sluggishly fatigued. So I need something like to boost my energy. So this ginger shot will I'd rather do this than coffee, right? I'm not no huge coffee drinker, especially Starbucks coffee. Like I only take Starbucks coffee when I am like exhausted to the point where I can't keep my eyes open because that coffee is so strong. If I'm just exhausted and know I need some type of coffee for a pick me up, then I'll go to Dunkin' Donuts because I prefer their coffee. I do not have coffee in my house at all. I have lots of teas in my house and stuff like that, but no coffee because I don't even drink it. And my daughter doesn't drink it. Nobody in my house really drinks it. And if I end up having like company, I'll go and get some coffee for the company, like that'll be there. But normally I get like the smallest thing or whatever. It's pods normally because I use my Keurig. Because I do not like coffee at all. I really don't drink it. But when I do tea, I steep my tea. So but I don't have chai tea at home. I have all kinds of teas, but I prefer the chai tea over here at Starbucks. I haven't purchased a chai tea from anywhere that I've tried to get it from that I like. And I guess I don't know. I don't do it the way Starbucks does it. So I prefer to have their chai tea. So I came out so that I could try to get me a boost of ginger. And so I decided to get a chai tea so I could talk to you guys for a little while I'm drinking that and while I'm taking a little break. So I came on today because I wanted to talk to you guys about the situation going on with Joseph Duggar, right? So, I don't know. I know there are probably some people over here in my audience that know about the show 19 Kids and Counting, but I used to watch that show. I loved that show. Because I felt like I used to watch it because they would do like really neat, like new things that I wouldn't think about doing. Like one time I watched them make laundry detergent, right? And I attempted to try to see if I could do it. I don't have no patience for all of that, right? I just gotta go to the store and buy laundry detergent. But they used to like do little things that were like old fashioned, but maybe things that you might want to think about trying to implement or do or see if it works or things like that, right? So I used to love watching that show, 19 Kids and Counting. They ended up with 19 kids. I think when it first started out, it was like 16 kids or 16 or 17 or something like that, but they just it kept going. Well, actually, I think when the first show first started, I don't even think they had that many kids because they started like a little show prior to that, and I don't even think they had made the double digits yet. They had done like a few shows, but then when they got the major deal with TLC, it was they were in the double digits at that point. And so they made a lot of money off of TLC. They made a lot of money off of reality TV. People were fascinated with their traditional, which in our sense probably would be like non-traditional way of living. They were very conservative people. They were part of an organization. They are, from my understanding, they are still part of an organization called the IBLP, which is the Institute for Basic Life Principles, right? And so that can be marked underneath what they call like this quote unquote quiver full movement. It's called quiver, QUIVER, full, FULL. I think it's two L's on it. It might just, I believe it's two L's on it, movement, right? So what that quiver full movement is they're basically like a scripture that talks about you shooting your kids out like an arrow, like bows and arrows, right, into the world, and that about them being fruitful and multiplying, having all of these children. So they don't believe in taking any birth control. They don't believe in doing anything that, like, I'm talking about all the way down to won't even use pull-out methods, right? They're not even supposed to do that. And so there's no form of birth control used. They have as many kids as they say the Lord will allow them to have. A lot of the times those kids are homeschooled. And a lot of the times the children end up taking care of the other children. The older children will then be taking care of the younger children. And in this family, the Duggar family, that's exactly what happened. The older children would be had like they call it a buddy system, right? And so with the buddy system, they were always paired up with an older sibling. Now, from what we saw on the show, they were always paired up with a sibling of the same gender from what I saw on the show. But we don't know outside of the show whether or not there was another sibling, whether there were times that they were in the care of an opposite gender sibling or not, right? Not that that really matters, but it's going to matter because of what I'm going to talk about today, right? So, but from what we saw, like I said, it was a buddy system. The older kids were matched up with a younger child. So essentially, that was to help the mom, Michelle. The mom and dad are Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, right? And that's the reason why all of the children have J names, because the dad has a J name. And so the children were paired up with one another. An older sibling was in charge of a younger sibling, and that was an effort to help out the mom to be able to take care of these children. Like I said, all of the children were homeschooled. Once the older children got old enough to be able to supervise some of the homeschooling, they did that, and so on and so forth. And so there was a scandal. The thing that got them off of TLC was a scandal. They had gone on to the Oprah Winfrey Show. While everybody says that Oprah and Gayle King are always after black men, well, let me tell you that this is an Oprah Winfrey exclusive as well. So they were attempting to go on the Oprah Winfrey Show in order to highlight their family and all of these kids and how they function day to day and talk about their show on TLC and things of that nature. Well, through the investigation of some of Oprah Winfrey's reporters, they found that there was some allegations of abuse of some of the girls in the family. And they found out that the abuse was done at the hands of the older brother, Josh Duggar, right? And so this revelation contributed. At this point, I believe that Josh had gotten married to his wife, Anna. And I think they might have had, I know they at least had one child. I don't know if they had more than one at that point. They might have been on child number 2 or number 3 when this revelation came out. I'm not sure. But at any rate, he had started a family of his own when this revelation came out. Hey, Michelle, how you doing, boo? So I'm talking about the Duggars today. I'm going into that situation with them, and I'm talking about I'm specifically at the part where the first scandal hits, when the scandal hits about Josh Duggar doing some inappropriate things to his sisters, and then there was another girl also that was said to be a babysitter, right? Also with the children. So that he had done some inappropriate things. So this scandal comes out. At this point, Josh Duggar is married. He has at least one kid. It might have been 2 or 3. And they go on to Oprah. And like I said, I want to dispel this narrative that Gail and Oprah are after black men, because Josh Duggar, this is how this gets discovered. It gets discovered because they are about to go on the Oprah Winfrey and have a conversation with Oprah Winfrey, I believe on her own network. And Oprah Winfrey's investigators find this out, right? And they find out that this had been being concealed. And it had not just been being concealed by the family, but also by the IBLP, which is the Institute for Basic Life Principles, that they are part of that organization, right? It's a Christian group. They are part of this organization, and they employ these traditional conservative family values in raising and rearing children, right? And the Duggar family is a part of this organization. So immediately Oprah cancels them on the show. She's not going to feature them on the show. But then it leaks out about this potential inappropriate contact that Josh Duggar has had with his sisters, and then this additional girl. So there are, I believe that there were 5 individuals in total. 4 of them were his sisters. 1 of them was a previous babysitter of the children. And so at that point, everything gets leaked out. Josh Duggar is working. I can't remember the name of the organization he was working for, but it was a very conservative organization. I don't know if it was under focus with the focus on the family, but I do know that it was in connection with Mike Huckabee, right? Mike Huckabee and the Mike Huckabee campaign, right? So for those who don't know Mike Huckabee is a conservative Christian. I believe he was like the governor or ran for governor or something somewhere. But his daughter, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, used to be the press secretary for Donald Trump, right? And so they have a lot of influence in the Christian right? Republicans have a lot of influence in the. Hear me okay? And like I said, Josh Duggar was working alongside them at that time. So like I said, this created a huge scandal. And so in addition to Josh losing his position with that organization, they also lose the show, because now TLC doesn't want to touch the story, right? So then they try to consider a way to revamp the show, right? So the way that TLC decided to revamp this show, you remember, Lord have mercy. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got text. So, yeah, you remember? Okay, yeah. So the way that they revamped the show was, Michelle, they decided to brand a show Counting On, right? And Counting On was to feature the girls, because I guess that's where they felt safer, right? So occasionally some of the other family members would feature on the show, but it was really a show about the girls and them having their own families, right? The only thing is that Jim Bob, the dad, was essentially cheating them girls out of money. He had contracted them to things. He had signed them up to agree to certain things that they were not in agreement to. At the time, I believe it was Jill Duggar, was one of the daughters. She was having a baby and she did not want it filmed, but her dad had already signed it up to be filmed. So they show up the day of the birth to film, and Jill and her husband are like, what is going on? And then they tell her, well, you need to take this up with your dad because he already contracted you with this. So essentially, Counting On was negotiated by Jim Bob, and Jim Bob was still profiting off of these adult grown children, right? And so that created some tension and stuff with the show. And so eventually that show then dies out when Josh is accused and arrested for CSAM. CSAM, I'm going to use a word in the middle of it in order to try to, like I said, I'm not monetized, but I don't know if certain things get flagged, so I don't want to use it. But CSAM is child sexual, I'm going to use Tisa Teller's word, child sexual abuse material, right? So Josh gets arrested and picked up for CSAM. And what the allegation is that Josh was using a system on his computer in order to try to avoid people from detecting the CSAM. Well, there was an investigation into this particular system that he was using. And in that investigation, this is how he gets caught. Because while they're investigating this company or whatever that has this type of software to mask things to try to protect people who are using the dark web to look at CSAM material, um, they found Josh Duggar. This is how they found him. So they don't have a victim. They don't have anybody that comes forward to say that he had done something to them or he had videoed them in this material or that he tried to contact them or anything. All they have is that he viewed this material, right? And they detect this because they are doing an investigation on this company that that allows the masking of these passwords or something that protect this type of material on people's computers so that they can try to conceal it, right? So this is how they catch Josh Duggar. So they go down to his car dealership where this is where he's viewing the material at. This is the computer he's using. And by then, they had already confirmed, the Department of Homeland Security had already confirmed that his passwords that he uses at home are the same password that was used on this software. They confirmed that he was there at the time. He was the one at the car dealership at the time that this material was being viewed. They confirmed some kind of conversations or something. They had a lot of confirmation that it was him and he's doing it. And I want to be clear when we talk about this type of material, right? Some people will try to make the excuse and say that, oh, maybe he just clicked on this by accident. No. This is not the type of CSAM that anybody clicks on by accident. You have to intentionally do things in order to download this material. And his attempts to conceal it through this application that could conceal it for him is also proof to intent, right? So this was not a mistake. This was not a one-time event. This was somebody intentionally viewing CSAM material. And the material, it came out during the process of the trial that the CSAM included children who were pre-pubescent, right? Meaning that they were very young. And this is how they could tell that they were children, right? Now, like I said, there's no victim. There's nobody there. They don't even know. We don't even know if the people who actually shot the material of these children were actually ever incarcerated because of this, if they've ever caught them yet, right? But this is a crime that he's being charged with just for viewing it, right? I'm gonna go into that later. I'm putting emphasis on that because I'm gonna speak on that later. But there is no victim. There's no quote unquote traditional victim, right? Because there's no child from those videos that is gonna testify in the trial to say he was viewing my material, right? No child, no victim. This is all forensics. Computer forensics, whatever you call that type of forensic, right? Investigation. So, I might be saying that wrong. I don't know if it's computer forensics or if it's called something else, kind of forensics or whatever. But this is all forensic evidence. There is no victim from the video that is coming forward accusing him of doing this, right? So, Josh goes through trial, and he's found guilty. And he is sentenced to 12 years without the possibility of parole. He is found guilty under the federal system. He is sentenced to 12 years without the possibility of parole. And then he has to be monitored for 20 years, right? After that. So that case happens. That case is over and it's done. And then we get an announcement a couple of months ago that Bo Bradley, who is also the attorney for R. Kelly now, is going to be representing Josh Duggar. Maybe not a couple of months ago. It might have just been a few weeks ago. Might not yet be 2 months. But we get this announcement that Bo Bradley is going to be representing Josh Duggar. So we get this announcement, and now last week, his brother has been arrested. And his brother has been arrested for inappropriate sexual contact with a minor under the age of, I think the victim was 9. I can't remember exactly what the charge is saying under the age of, but I believe that the victim was 9 years old at the time of the incidents happening, right? And so, according to the reports, Joseph Duggar admitted to the father of the victim, and according to the reports, to the police, what he did, right? And so, in addition to Joseph being charged, now his wife is charged. And what she's charged with, okay, there's 2 things going on right now in this situation. The incidents they have said to occurred with the minor happened in Florida, right? I believe they said in Panama City, I think. So that happened in Florida while they were on vacation or something. And then there were several instances. So we don't know if all of these instances happened during a vacation or then were spread out over a length of time of other visits, right? But that there is a mention of the initial situation happening during a vacation, and then there is mention that these things happen multiple times. But then after the victim confronted him in a way, then it stopped. And then now the victim is 14. So the victim was 9 at the time. And we don't know how long that's extended out to, but now the victim is 14 years old. And it was said that the father confronted Josh Duggar. And then after the father confronted Josh Duggar, then I guess he contacted the authorities. And this is how authorities in Florida got involved. And this is what led to a warrant and arrest for Joseph Duggar. Okay. But then his wife was arrested. So now his wife was arrested, and she was arraigned this morning. She was arrested in Arkansas. So they got both of them in Arkansas. Joseph Duggar and his wife, I think her name is Kendra. They arrested both of them. From what I'm seeing, I think that Kendra's charges probably got to do with their own children, and it might actually have something to do with this arrest. That's what I'm thinking. Because they had 4 children, and she got 4 counts of like child endangerment, and then 4 counts of like, what is it called? Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Hold on. I think the other 4 counts had something to do with like not kidnapping a minor, but just like let me see exactly what word it is. Hold on. Okay, you guys, can you hear me? So she got 4 counts of endangering the welfare of a child, 4 counts of that, and then she got 4 counts of false imprisonment, right? So I'm thinking that more than likely those charges are probably related to when they came to come arrest him, because he got the same thing as her. So I'm thinking that's what that is with. So at first, initially, like, everybody was up in arms because, okay, you can hear me, Michelle? Okay. So everybody was up in arms because when they heard that the wife was being arrested, they thought that it might have something to do with Joseph's victim. But I think it really has to do with their children. And probably when they came there to come arrest him, there was probably some resistance. And then that's probably why they charged the both of them with that as well. So Joseph Duggar has the same charges as his wife Kendra in Arkansas, and then that is where they live. And then he's going to be extradited. He's not fighting extradition. He's going to be extradited to Florida, Panama City, to face the charges for the inappropriate child sexual activity, right? And so so after this, Jim Bob and Michelle, the parents, they have not made a statement yet. They haven't said anything. But Josh's lawyer says something. So Josh is the brother, like we just said. I'm trying to make sure we can keep it all straight because there's so many of the kids, and Josh is the son that has already been convicted of the CSAM material, right? He's in jail. He's going up for appeal, and Bo Brindley is representing him in his appeal, right? And so there is a statement issued by Josh Duggar, and in that statement, Josh Duggar is saying that he believes his brother to be innocent. He believes that his brother didn't do anything wrong. He believes that his brother will be cleared, and he understands that these type of cases get built against public figures and how people are out to get them and accuse them of things that they did not do, and blase, right? We know the story. We know the script, right? And so the problem is that according to the authorities, Joseph has admitted to doing these things. And the other problem is that, sir, we believe you did what they said you did. And so do you think we really want to take your word about the setup? This is becoming Bo Brindley's script, the setup. That all of these celebrities are being set up and lied on. And the truth is not being told on them. And this is all part of some kind of conspiracy. This is becoming some kind of script of Bo Brindley. His clientele is looking more like that as we go along. I wonder who will be the next client, right? But I am very interested to see Bo Brindley attempt to defend Josh Duggar in this CSAM case. I want to see what angle he comes at with it, and what he is planning to challenge in this case. I think that, like, when I initially watched and followed the Josh Duggar case, I had some questions because I was like, okay, how do they know for sure it was him? But then that all comes out. It comes out in the trial, right? And there are too many identifiable markers to say it was not him viewing the material. So I'm wondering if weeks down the line, I'm just curious, especially knowing the reputation of this attorney, I'm wondering if there is going to be the blame on someone else, potentially, because they tried that before, right? So I'm wondering what is going to be the grounds of the appeal, what is going to be the strategy, and if they are going to go with the attempting to try to go with the defense again that someone else was viewing this material at his car dealership, at the lot. Especially because there were too many identifying markers to identify him as being the one who viewed the material, him being the one who was downloading the material. So I'm interested to see how that unfolds, and I wanted to come and talk to you guys about it. Initially, I had watched Strategic, True Crime with Strategic, and I like him. He's a detective, right? And so he gives us like an interesting perspective on different cases that come out. And he does a lot of cases dealing with child sex crimes because that's the type of work he works in, right? He works in missing, I think he works in missing people in general, but a lot of times that ends up children. And a lot of times it ends up being in some kind of sexual crime committed against those children. Is involved in it. And so he has a lot of experience in this arena. So he's not just giving commentary based off of what he knows about the cases through research, but also because this is his profession. He does this every day. And so he gives us different insights into these cases. And so I like getting his perspective on things. Initially, so you have those group of people who were sympathizers with the wife, Kendra, right? Saying, oh, she's abused too. she's had to live underneath these draconian rules and all of these different things. And then you have the other group of people who are totally on the other side and have absolutely no sympathy for the wife, right? When I listen to both perspectives, and I don't agree with either one. Number one, I don't even think we have enough information in order to make that assessment yet about this case. Like I said, because I'm assuming, based on the charges, based on the fact that they both got these charges out of Arkansas, I believe that it has something to do with the arrest and not necessarily something else is going on. But I could be wrong. But until we have more information, that's why I said I cannot make a determination about the charges that she has right now. I can't say whether or not I'm empathetic or whether I think the book should be thrown at her, because we don't know what the basis for these child endangerment charges are and this false imprisonment charges are. Like I said, it could be related to the arrest, and in that case, the person who was being arrested probably was the main one who did not want did not want to be handed over at the time. And so it is possible that there was some pressure or influence on her not to grant access or something like that. I'm thinking that based on the charges that might be what it is. But if it is something that makes the crime more egregious, in my opinion, something outside of the arrest, something that they found out through investigation that might be going on either with their 4 children in their home or with some other 4 children somewhere else, then I cannot speak to whether or not at this point whether we should have some concern for her or whether or not she's just as culpable as he is, right? And I think a lot of times that's what happens. We rush to a judgment immediately, right? And there are some people who do fall on the lines where they have so much sympathy for the woman in a situation because they feel like she is a product of this abusive system. Well, you said the children's living conditions maybe. Oh, yeah, that too. And that's what I'm saying, Miss Show. That's what I'm saying. So we have to, in order for us to understand what those charges are, we need more information. In order for us to understand whether we think that her being charged, whether we think that it was legitimate or not, we need more information. We can't, because you're right, it could have, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have something to do with the 4 children at the time of the arrest. Does it have something to do with the 4 children, like Michelle just said, and their living conditions, right? Does it have something to do with 4 children somewhere else that have nothing to do with their children in the home, right? That right now we don't know. And so I think it's a rush to judgment for anybody to say we feel sorry for her, and I feel it's a rush to judgment for anybody to say throw the book at her, because we don't know what she know, even if she even knew anything about this crime that he's now obviously admitted to that he committed in Panama City. We don't know that her charges have anything to do with that. I'm inclined to believe that her charges have nothing to do with that because she is charged in Arkansas. So I'm inclined to believe that the charges that she has absolutely nothing to do with what he is being charged with in Panama City, Florida. And so until we have those additional details, I think it's premature for either side to either be overly sympathetic or feel like the book should be thrown at her, right? But because of it, right? So that was one thing that I wanted to also discuss in this case is I think for those of us who know about 19 Kids Accountable, follow TLC shows, know about this family, or just are interested in this true crime case because maybe they followed the initial Duggar case but didn't watch the show or whatever, before you make a rush to judgment on either side when it comes to Kendra Duggar, I think we need to wait until more information is released. Like I said, I think she was arraigned this morning, so I've tried to look to see if there were more details surrounding that arraignment before I came online, but I did not see that yet. But like I said, I'm interested to hear, what is this associated to? Is it associated to the arrest? And is that where all the charges come from? Is it associated to the conditions that they found when they went to go arrest Joseph Duggar? Is this involving 4 other children somewhere else in Arkansas that she's being charged about, right? Those are the questions. So I am going to wait to get more updates on that story. And as I hear more, I will come back to you guys and talk to you about that story. But right now, I think so. Okay, let me say this too. I think that the reason why Josh Duggar was pushed to make a statement is because he is in a process of trying to file an appeal. And this is not good PR for that appeal filing, period. And so I think that was why his attorneys felt like they had to make a statement on his behalf. I just don't think that letting us know that you believe your brother does not hold any weight. We don't care because you're guilty. You're a criminal yourself, right? And this is the thing. The CSAM that he was accused of watching, the Homeland Security investigators said that it was some of the most grotesque CSAM that they have seen. And these people have seen lots of things. But they said that it was some of the most grotesque CSAM that they've seen. And I posted a video of because the CSAM involves child torture, not just it's torture of children, not just individuals having smacks with children under the age of 9 years old, but there's actual torture video and images of torture of these children while these acts are occurring, right? And I posted a video from a content creator. I did not want to post without a crystal ball directly. I watch her a lot, but I think that sometimes she has good information, but I think sometimes she goes too far to say that she has the exclusive or that she has the inside to a story, right? And so she will go too far in what she reveals, what she knows, like all of these different things. And so the reason why we know some of what is on some of the images of the CSAM that Josh Duggar was viewing is because without a crystal ball, she released some information on some of it, right? And in regards to that, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what to say about that on one side or the other, right? I think I was willing to take what what was testified to by the investigators in the case, that this was some of the gross material that they've ever seen. They do this a lot, so I'm willing to accept their opinion, right? As well as it must be consistent with what they're showing the jury in the exhibits, right, that are not being shown to the general public. So I trust the jury in that case. I trust the investigators in that case. I don't really think I needed to have the details of the graphic nature in which these images, the graphic nature of these images by someone else. But Katie Joy, without a crystal ball, she did reveal some of what was in some of the images, and I must say that that's something I didn't need to know that to believe the investigation, but what she saw might have been more on the milder side, and what she claimed she saw was like enough for me. So I posted the video of another content creator who talked about Katie Joy and how she's always in a rush to have this exclusive, and to the point where sometimes she just reveals too much information on situations, and this is information involving children. And so sometimes the sensitivity of the situation is not considered when she's thinking about getting these exclusives. And this is how sometimes, a lot of times, she ends up finding herself in a lot of trouble. She's been named in a lot of different cases, been involved in civil suits several different times because of stuff that she has done, trying to get the exclusive and trying to let people know she has the exclusive information. And so I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I wonder how you guys feel about Katie Joy doing that. But I just wanted to leave that here too, because sometimes I think that it can be the thirst for the exclusive and to get the thing out that could be considered like information that is going to get you to more clicks and views. Sometimes I think it crosses the line. And I think sometimes she does cross the line with trying to prove that she has this inside information in these exclusives. So I was just wondering what you guys think about that too. But I need to get back to work. So I am going to end this live with you guys today. But I just wanted to come to you and talk to you about that case. And as more things unfold in the situation, I will bring you more. And I am anticipating that it's going to be some more things that is going to come out of the Duggar camp within the next few days, because there was mentioned that there were some other questionable family members. And a lot of times when something happens with one, it'll have a trickle down effect and then spark things in more situations. And I am anticipating that we might see some more stuff revealed as a result of this new Duggar case being brought up, and in light of Josh Duggar filing for this appeal. So you guys let me know what you think in the comments, questions, concerns, suggestions, and I will respond to you. I love you guys, and y'all have a good day. Peace.